Have you stayed at an Airbnb? Have you gotten injured at an Airbnb? Airbnbs, they have a dark side, and we will tell you why. So, Airbnbs, they're fun.
They have a dark side.
They do. You've stayed at one. Have you?
Yeah, I have. Have you?
I've used Airbnb, and I guess knowing what we know as lawyers about Airbnb and have seen some of the injuries and consequences of poorly maintained and managed Airbnbs, I now, when I stay at one, I'm always a little bit cautious, and I think that's important for people to understand, right? That there are dangers in staying in an Airbnb, and I think the way I like to explain it is that you have a hotel is very regulated.
Yeah.
An Airbnb is not a hotel, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what clients often that come to us after being injured in Airbnb, they don't think about holding the homeowner, Airbnb, or whoever invited them there responsible for that very reason, because they're not regulated, because it's just a house. They have a different approach to it if they get hurt there.
Yeah, and just even the property owner has a different approach. A hotel is, by virtue of regulation and inspections and being a commercial property, there are higher standards in place. And that is part of the reason why hotels cost more and why Airbnbs are attractive to consumers. And we believe that Airbnbs are great and that it's a great industry, and we support it both for the users and for the renters, or the property owners. But we've seen things go wrong. And Ash, I mean, you can share some of the things that you've seen, that we've seen here.
Yeah, I mean, not from luckily I haven't had to see this personally, but we've had clients that come in and they see fatal drug overdoses, catastrophic injuries from trip and falls. I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the things we've seen over the years, and it's pretty crazy that someone can go to a house and sustain that type of injury. And then the hardest part is figuring out who's responsible for covering that loss. Is it the person renting the house? Is it the homeowner? Is it Airbnb? And sometimes it's all of them.
One of the biggest problems is that oftentimes these Airbnb properties are not kept up well. And upkeep in terms of the property matters for safety. And so people are getting hurt on uneven entries. They are getting hurt in backyards that are not graded properly. And remember too, right, these houses that are getting rented for parties, and maybe you got invited to a fun party and somebody goes, oh, I got an Airbnb and it's great and all this stuff. And you go there, and what are they serving? They're serving alcohol. They're serving other substances that might make decision-making a problem. And all of a sudden, these defects, these property shortcomings become an even bigger problem. You've got people that are under the influence, and they're in a property that isn't being kept up well. And that combination we've seen create a lot of injuries and a lot of claims.
If you've been injured at an Airbnb, whether it's as a renter or a guest of the property, we're here to help. We're here to sort out all of those questions you might have as to who's responsible, how much are they going to be able to cover of your loss, and we will work together with our team and with you to answer those questions and get you the recovery you deserve. And Sam, you tell them about the costs.
Well, the best thing is that a great lawyer like Sam and Ash, great firm, doesn't cost you any more than a bad one. Our fees are payable directly by the insurance company or by the defendants that caused your injury. So don't shop for a lawyer based on low cost. Hire the firm you want. Get the value you deserve. and let them pay for it.
So you were mentioning the difference between costs and value, and how so many clients and potential clients get caught up in the percentages of what the percentage of fee an attorney is going to take versus another attorney, and they're losing sight of the critical thing of how big is their settlement, and that's the true value of their case. And so you've always had a great analogy for it.
Yeah, the watermelon and the grape. I'd rather have 10% of a watermelon than 90% of a grape. And the truth is, the right law firm will bring that difference in value
Mm-hmm.
in your settlement, in the outcome of your case. And what you're left with, 5%, 3% difference in fee can produce 10x, 20x, 30 times the value, and obviously then put a totally different game-changing result in your pocket.
And so that's why I always say it's so critical that when you're evaluating what attorney to go with, that you're not just finding the cheapest lawyer, because cheap and low fee lawyers, they come with a risk. And the risk is that you will get a grape.